Now let's move towards the next one, that is called the command of Navy. Right. So, okay, yesterday we have, I think, started it. So there are three commands, right, as far as Navy is concerned. As like for Indian Army, there are 7 different commands. So total there are 3 different commands, and each of these command is looked after or commanded by the Vice Admiral, right? So it is the command, or it is always looked after by the Vice Admiral. So let's consider the first command which we can have is Eastern Naval Command. Eastern Naval Command. Its headquarters is at Visakhapatnam, which is in Andhra Pradesh. Right. So it is at Visakhapatnam, which is in the state of Andhra Pradesh. Right. Now, if you consider its headquarters is at Visakhapatnam, right? As I said, commanded by the Vice Admiral, but this commanding officer, right, is designated as the Flag Officer Commander in Chief. Flag Officer Commander in Chief. So it is the designation to the commanding officer of the command of Navy. Right. So first command, Eastern Naval Command, which is at Visakhapatnam. So as far as Indian Navy is concerned, which is world's 7th largest Indian Navy, 7th largest Navy, right? So among that, this Eastern Naval Command is the first and the largest command. First and largest command of Indian Navy is the Eastern Command. Right? It is an operational command. It is an operational command. Right. So operational, you can directly take part into the war, right? Or how you can differ. It is not for the purpose of training. It is not for the purpose of maintenance, right? Rather, it is for the purpose of securing maritime and to take part into the war, right? And therefore, it is called the operational command. Right? Rather, among 2 commands of Indian Navy, among 3 commands, 2 are operational command, and 1 is the training command. Right? So that could be the case which we can consider. Fine. So okay, I guess it is focused. Fine. So this is about what I said about the command which we can consider, right? The first command. So in this case, the operational command always have the exercise control over the operations of, now see it is at eastern side, right, at Vishakhapatnam. So it must be looking into the Bay of Bengal, right? So it is operational command and exercise control over operations in the Bay of Bengal. Bay of Bengal, right? So always keep in mind, it is responsible for the operations into the Bay of Bengal, and it is having a complete control over the operations. They are also having their exercises in the Bay of Bengal, right? So this is about the thing which you can consider. Now, if you consider, uh, there are, as far as Indian Navy is concerned, right, there are two cutting edge fleets, right? So there are total two fleets. So one fleet is at, it is in the Eastern Naval Command, right? So it is based at one fleet, based at, I will write this only for the sake of your understanding, based at Vishakhapatnam. So obviously here the question is in your mind that what is the fleet, right? So if you consider the fleet, so that particular case in any of the navy is nothing but a group of group of the ships, right, which are engaged in the same activity, or let's say in the activity, right? So this is called the fleet. Now, as I said, there are two fleets. Suppose if we could have one more operational command instead of three commands, if Navy could have four commands, right? Rather, it is not. Okay, anyway, I will tell you one more thing. Now, CDS is thinking something different, right? And there might be some changes which we can see in near future, that he wanted to create a command which will be looked after by Navy and Air Force, and uh, that will be emerging as the new command, right? It is not finalized, but very high level discussions are going on there. So after becoming the CDS, he has taken that particular subject on the agenda or on the preference, and very soon there will be something coming out, right? You will be finding out that either the existing commands will be looked after altogether by Air Force and Navy, right? Or there will be a new command which is going to be looked after by altogether either two armed forces, or sometimes army may get involved in it, right? So as of today it is not finalized, but the high level discussions are always there, right? And this the current CDS, right, is very keen in this particular field or the area to have such kind of command, right? So fleet, which you can consider. Now, beside the fleet, right, okay, one more thing. As we have considered the command, and then the division, then brigade. Likewise, this could be a thing. So apart from the fleet, there is again a one more thing that is called, there are again two flotillas are there. Flotilla, right? So what this flotilla is, so if you consider again the small group of the fleet, right? So I will write a small fleet of ships, or you can consider the boats, BOATS, right? Boats, that could be the thing. So altogether, currently we are having two flotillas, one at each of the operational commands, and two fleets, which is again as one each at Mumbai and Visakhapatnam. That is at one, let's say, what we can consider the Eastern Naval Command, and the next one is about Western Naval Command, right? So these are the two things. But apart from these two, there is again a one more fleet, and I think flotilla are there, right, for one more place that we will see, right? And so what is the functioning of this flotilla, right? Or what kind of information is gathered by the fleet? So it is always used to provide the local naval defense, right, in their respective regions, and for that purpose it is being always used, right? So not only at these particular, let's say only at the flotilla or fleets the naval ships are located, but the naval ships are also located or based at other ports, right, along with the let's say east and west coasts of India, right? So whatever the ports we do have, so at that ports the Indian naval ships are located, right? So you need not to think about only the ships are at the eastern side or the eastern naval command, or at the only western naval command, right? Since these are only two operational commands, that doesn't matter, right? So as like battalions in uh, army, we do have, right, the small groups, right, even smaller than the flotilla, are there at different places. And what are that different places? The different places are the uh, let's say ports which we can consider across the Indian maritime, right? So that will be always looking for the coast sites as well as the Indian territories or islands, right? So that will always ensure a continued presence of navy in the areas of national interest, right? So this is the thing which is always uh, important, right? So if we consider the next command, right, by and large now same kind of replica is there in the another command, because it is again the operational command, only the name is changing. So Western Naval Command. So you must be knowing where it is, right? So it is in Mumbai. So headquarters of the Western Naval Command is at Mumbai. And if you consider again, it is headed by the commanding officer, right, which is of vice admiral rank, and it is also designated as the flag officer commander in chief, right? Then obviously it is not first and last likewise the Eastern Naval Command, right? But it is an operational command, fine, and it is exercises operational command, right? Exercises exercise the control over operations. You can guess in which way, right? Operations in the, what you can write here now, in the Arabian Sea. Okay, Arabian Sea. Right. So what is happening in Arabian Sea is the responsibility of the Western Naval Command, right? So to have the operations, to have the exercise in the in the Arabian Sea, as well as the control over the operations in the Arabian Sea, is the responsibility of Western Naval Command, right? So that is the thing which is important. Again, it is having one fleet which is based at, right, fleet based at Mumbai, right? So it is at Mumbai. Again, it is having one flotilla, right? So this is related to the second command of Indian Navy, which we can consider as the Western Naval Command. Fine. So these are the two commands which we have for Indian Navy, known as the operational commands. Fine. Now, the third command which we can consider is the Southern Naval Command. Right, Southern Naval Command, which is at Kochi in Kerala. Fine. So if you consider the task of this particular command, right, that is of Southern Naval Command, which we can consider. Right. So is basically a training command. Fine. Again, same thing. It is commanded by the Vice Admiral, right, called as commanding officer, right, designated as the flag officer, commander in chief, right. So it is a training command. Fine. So if you consider the task of this particular command, right, which is nothing but to provide the let's say nothing but to provide the training to the Navy personnel, right? So that is the way which we can consider, or it is the necessary thing. Fine. Now, in this particular case, if you consider the training command of the Indian Navy, which is nothing but the Southern Naval Command, is responsible for the training of all its personnel, both officers as well as sailors, right, from basic to advanced stages, right. It is very important thing, right. So complete training of the Navy personnel is being carried out by this particular command called as training command, right, particularly known as Southern Naval Command, situated at Kochi in Kerala, right. So this is about this particular command which we have right now. Apart from this, so in this way you can consider the security of the coastal side, let's say east coast side and the west coast, right. What about the islands? What about the territories such as Andaman and Nicobar, right? So looking towards the Andaman and Nicobar, right, or the security security of Andaman and Nicobar is also and the important point, right. So here I can consider a start point, right. Andaman and Nicobar. Right. So see, it is a joint tri-service responsibility. So what is meant by joint and tri? That means it is looked up by Army, Navy plus Air Force. So all these forces altogether are looking for the security of the Andaman and Nicobar, and they are having their headquarters at Port Blair, right? They are having their headquarters at Port Blair. See, it is equivalent to a command, any command in the Army, Navy, or Air Force. Now, here the question may come that if it is a tri-service responsibility, then who is the commanding officer, right, of this unit? So commanding officer is always rotated, across 3 services, right, one by one. Now see how it is being. Suppose currently heading officer is from Navy. Then after finishing his tenure, the next officer will come from, let's say, Air Force. Then again, after completing his time period, right, or the tenure, the next officer will come, that will be from Army, right? So this is the thing which is very important, that is rotated among the 3 services, right? And the joint tri-service, right, its headquarters is at Port Blair, which is again the capital of this particular territory, right? So this is looked after, looked by the tri-services. So you can consider it is again, as I said, equivalent to the command. Fine. So this is about the responsibility of Andaman and Nicobar, A and N, right? So that is the case which you can consider. Fine. Now let's consider the next point, that is, I think, related to the Air Force that we can have. Fine. So let's now go to the next point, or just I will tell you some of the things. See, as I said, first or earlier it was not Indian Navy, as like today it is Indian Navy, right? So in the year 1950, it has got the name Indian Navy. But before 1950, it was the Royal Indian Navy, right? So the word Royal has been removed in 1950. So when it was being there, so from 1934, right, it was there. Rather, it was only renaming. So in 1934, the Royal word is put there, right? Rather, Royal Indian Navy was there. So earlier of it, it was the His Majesty's Indian Navy, right? And it was the colonial navy, right? If you consider, then prior to that, being a colonial navy, it was only East India Company's, let's say, part of subcontinent, that is in Bengal. And again, if you go back, right, so it is simply a let's say company's marine, founded to protect the British merchant shipping in the region. So it is from the 17th century, right? If we consider the complete thing. Now, already I have said you that its option, its objectives are to safeguard the nation's maritime borders, right? And in conjunction with other armed forces of the union, that is along with the army and air force, right? And always to act to determine and defeat any of the threats or the uh, foreign aggressions against the territory of or the people or the maritime interest of the India, right? Both in the peace time as well as in the war time, right? So it is the necessary thing which you can consider. There are always some secondary objectives which we can consider, and that secondary objectives may include the joint exercises, right? The joint exercises means the exercise with the army, exercise with the air force, or exercise with army and air force all together. Then there can be a goodwill visits and humanitarian missions. So I have considered humanitarian missions, goodwill visits, right? In humanitarian missions, we have considered the disaster relief, right? Or sometimes to promote the bilateral relationships between the nations. So our navy will go to some other nation's navy and they will have a common practice, right? Or the US Navy had come recently to India and we had a common practice, right? So these are bilateral relations of the nation which we can consider. Fine. So this is about the navy which we can have. Now this is not only that we do have this much, right? So we have many more things to know, right, into the navy. But as far as our interest or the concern is concerned, we are restricting ourselves with this one, right? So there was a question that I think, or there might be a doubt that is it going to be asked in the NDA's written examination? Though it is asked at a very less preference or very less questions will be there depending on this, but always keep in mind those who will be facing the SSB interview. So among your 5 days of interview, you will be completely spending 1 day interview among these things. So there is a point related to the statistics and tactics. So unless and until you know the things, you know the basics, you know the structure, right? You will not be having or you will not be taking part into the discussions for tactics and the statistics. So as far as SSB interview is concerned, it is very important to know these things, right? That is what I mean, right? Whenever I say your understanding must be deeper and deeper. So that means this is this particular thing, right? You should not keep it aside. You should not sideline these things, right? And this is my personal experience that it will definitely enhance your interest, but at the same time it may consume lots of time, right? But in these days, right, since you have to only attend some sessions in a complete day and you have nothing to do in the rest of the day, so I again suggest whatever here I'm putting in front of you, it is only the introductory part, or I may say I'm just exploring you to these things, right? There may be many more questions in your mind related to these things, right? How something looks like, what exactly fleet is containing, then how that ship is looking like, then how many aircrafts on that ship, then what kind of aircrafts we need to have, right? Or